I love what I'm seeing. Is that on? Thank you to everyone here, braving the rain to celebrate this March for Science Earth Day. You know what? Some people say that science shouldn't be politicized, okay? But let me tell you something. Science is inherently political. Let me tell you why. Because when science uncovers toxins in drinking water, policy must be made to fix it. When science uncovers pollutants that destroy the ozone layer, policy must be made to fix it. And when science uncovers that slightly more of a colorless, odorless gas is causing us to trap slightly more heat from the sun, and that is changing the climate, policy must be made to fix it. So that's why I'm here, because when policymakers base their decisions on the best, most rigorously conducted scientific research, we all stand to benefit. Our next group of speakers is striving to become even more involved in that decision-making process all around the world. And these decisions will benefit everyone here today, and most importantly, for future generations. And inspiring our youth to be more active and engaged in science at the earliest age possible will move our society forward. Now, Cara is with some of our future decision makers right now. Cara?
Well, guys, I really have faith in the future looking at all the inspirational kids that have come out today. And I want to start here with Matthew. I see that you brought an important sign. Why don't you tell me about it?
So these are the Yellowstone grizzlies. Because of climate change, they're moving out of the Yellowstone National Park, and people are going to be shooting them. And I'm trying to devote my life to stop animals from being poached and climate change to be stopped.
That's a really, really important cause. Wow, I'm just blown away. And we've got Diana here who built her own robot. Diana, tell me about this.
I made a robot for BattleBots. I'm going to enter at the Franklin Institute for a junior AntBot competition, and I can lift its hand up. This is its weapon. It flips the robot up. We're still working on, so if it's go upside down, it can go up and flip over. So that's my robot, and its name is Count Olaf from Sears of Fortunate Events.
Count Olaf, I am so impressed. Well, guys, I want to be like these kids when I grow up because I'm blown away. And our next speaker will blow you away as well. Here she is, Lydia Villa-Komaroff.
I'm a curious person, and I am a scientist. Scientists seek to answer why by seeking facts, facts that can be tested and verified. We believe that evidence must be reproducible. We believe in the power of doubt. We are comfortable with uncertainty. Science touches all aspects of modern life. Fundamental basic science has made possible the cars we drive, the houses we live in, the clothes we wear, our smartphones, our entertainment, the weapons that keep us safe. Basic science underlies the medical advances that allow us to lead longer, healthier lives. In the 70s, I was part of a diverse team that showed that insulin could be made in bacteria. Today, anyone who takes insulin takes an insulin made by the methods that we and our competitors developed. This work was made possible because in the 50s and 60s, scientists sought to learn how certain bacteria resisted infection by certain viruses. That basic research was supported by the American Cancer Society and the federal government, despite the fact that there was little indication it had any relevance to human health. But that work led to the discovery of restriction enzymes, and that discovery made it possible to make insulin and other treatments in bacteria. And that made possible the birth of the biotechnology industry. Better health, better jobs, and some of those jobs don't require a PhD. This is one of many stories that illustrate the importance of science. Support for science has been declining for decades. Mr. President, members of the House and Senate, support our future. Invest in science.
All right, next up, I am very, very excited to introduce you to a very important guest, a pioneering woman in science. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Dr. Nancy Roman. Dr. Roman was the chief of astronomy and solar physics at NASA in the 1960s. She was the first woman to hold an executive position at the space agency. And over her career, Dr. Roman was instrumental in launching 3 orbital solar observatories and 3 small astronomical satellites. She also played a central role in shaping the Hubble Space Telescope, earning her the nickname Mother Hubble. Thank you, Dr. Nancy Roman. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Women scientists rock, don't they? I'm from the American Public Health Association, and we represent thousands of public health professionals who practice science every day to keep people healthy and safe in our communities. Public health science is the heart of so many successes that have prolonged our lives and improved our well-being. Thanks to public health science, we use seat belts to prevent millions of crash-related injuries and fatalities every year. Thanks to public health science, we vaccinate our kids to protect them from deadly diseases. And thanks to public health science, we reduce the threat of secondhand tobacco smoke. A strong commitment to research is absolutely essential to crafting evidence-based solutions that protect us from serious health threats. You know, a nation that ignores science, that denies science, that underfunds science, does so at its own peril. We cannot allow this to happen. We need to support public health science and discovery that can deliver the answers to the questions essential to improving our nation's health. We need to ensure that data and evidence drive policymaking, not uninformed ideology. And we need to appoint and support health researchers and program leaders who are the highest quality to lead our national and local efforts. And we need to support global research efforts. You know, threats to human health do not recognize borders. Neither should our work to solve these problems. America is the innovation leader of the world, and we should continue to act like it. Thank you.
My name is Gloria Tavera, and I'm an MD PhD student at Case Western Reserve University. I'm also a Latina and a first-generation scientist in my family. As a scientist, I know that a breakthrough in the lab can be a new way to help people. But too often, major institutions, including pharmaceutical companies, prioritize profits over lives. The prices that some companies charge for essential life-saving medicine leave many people unable to live. So we as scientists need to recognize our unique responsibility and take power and take action. And that's why I helped establish an organization called Universities Allied for Essential Medicines that pushes universities to ensure the cures that their scientists discover are available at prices that people can afford. So at least 10 million people die globally every year because they do not have the access to the medicines they need. And this suffering is preventable. No one should be sick because they are poor or poor because they are sick. So at Yale's campus, at Yale University's campus, we've secured a massive price reduction in an HIV medication, allowing humanitarian organizations to treat people living with HIV in South Africa for the first time. This year, UAEM students successfully campaigned at Johns Hopkins University to ensure that a new promising TB tuberculosis drug will be affordable for patients. Universities are where at least 60% of the most novel first-in-class discoveries in biomedical research are made, and they are funded by your taxpayer dollars, and that research doesn't save lives if people can't afford the results. Join us this weekend, and at a follow-up action tomorrow, go to uaem.org or find UAEM on Twitter. We are urging the NIH to ensure affordable access to publicly funded medicines. Too often, scientists accept the results our medical system gives us, but that system doesn't exist without us. We have the power to make it better. It is up to us. Join us. If not us, then who? Thank you so much for your attention.
Hello, my name is Erich Jarvis, and I'm a neuroscientist. Go the brains! I'm glad to join with you today as we make history in the first ever march for science in our nation and in the world. It is science that has given us cures for disease, a better understanding of our planet, of our universe, and ourselves. These scientific benefits to society would have not have occurred without government support. Yet, we live in a time where the support and the fundamental principles of science are being challenged, where ideological opinions overrides evidence, where you know something is really wrong when people from around the world must form a protest march for science, and even in the rain. Yes. Science has always received bipartisan congressional support, and I am such an example where such support has made a difference. I am a professor of brain research and genetics at the Rockefeller University, Hunter College, Duke University, and the Howard Hughes Medical Institute. I have advised over 100 students and staff in my career. Many now run their own laboratories. Some have become politicians. Some have gone into the pharmaceutical industries to make the medicines that heal you. Others have become doctors and treat you and your loved ones in your hospitals. But I did not begin that way. I'm an African American raised in poor neighborhoods of New York City. It was the diversity programs of Congress to the National Institutes of Health that gave me the opportunity to become a scientist and give back to you. Congress gave me and the people I have trained the opportunity to contribute to this society. And the very words of language that I am giving you here today. So, to wrap it up, because they're making me wrap it up, all right? If 4 or more years goes by without this funding, we will miss the critical period years to train students and lose the scientists of tomorrow. You do not get a second chance. If 4 or more years goes by without such funding, it will end many people's jobs and careers.
An immigrant. Growing up in India, as a kid, I couldn't afford a microscope. So one day, I tried to make one by stealing my brother's eyeglasses. Not a good idea. 30 years on, I'm still making microscopes. Now, I make affordable scientific tools for everyone. Just last year alone, we shipped 50,000 microscopes to kids around the world. I share these with community workers, health workers that are fighting diseases like malaria and schistosomiasis with absolutely no resources. I share them with kids who are passionate and curious about science, curious about why pollen flies. How far does a mosquito fly? We are all born curious. Science gives us the capacity to turn that curiosity into questions. Questions anyone can ask, anyone can answer. As we celebrate and march today, I want us all to promise that we will make science accessible to everyone. Let's make science and scientific literacy a human right. Let's make it affordable to not just the people who can pay for it, but for 1 billion kids who can't. The tingling feeling that you have when you make your first discovery, it's worth passing on. It's worth passing on to the kids, because all the problems that we face, climate change, biodiversity loss, and healthcare access to 1 billion people that's missing, the answers to them might lie in the sparkle of the kids that are here today. Thank you.
Hello, Washington. You may have seen TV shows with police in lab coats who quickly and easily develop new techniques to solve crimes. Well, reality is a bit different from TV, and I'm here to talk to you about the importance of sound science in our criminal justice system. The Innocence Project works to exonerate people who've been wrongfully convicted of serious crimes. Since 1992, 349 men and women have been exonerated using DNA evidence that proves their innocence. That's 349 people who collectively served 4,762 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. They're finally freed. That's the power of science getting it right. But these cases have also taught us that it's problems in forensic science that contributed to 46% of these wrongful convictions. Problems that include unreliable and invalid methods, exaggerated and misleading testimony, simple mistakes, and outright fraud. That's almost half of the cases in which something that passes itself off as science got it wrong. We call upon our federal government to fund the scientific, foundational, validation research that's needed to make sure that forensic science is sound science. We need everyone in our criminal justice system, our police, our prosecutors, our defense attorneys, our judges and juries to be able to make decisions based on sound science. A system that is seeking truth and justice should demand nothing less. We are proud to join with you today in Washington, in New York, across the country, and around the nation as we all stand up for science.